everybody here standing in wonder beneath the rain and the thunder, rising in love. Om Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti Om. Sing together. Om Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti Om. Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti We are awakening to this perfect imperfection, awakening in the oneness of it all. Everybody part of each other, sister and brother, rising in love. Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti Om Shanti Satchidananda. Om Shanti We are awakening. Men, sing that with me. We are awakening. We are awakening. Awakening. We are awakening. Now the women with Deva. We are awakening. We are awakening. And bringing the voices together. We are awakening. We are awakening. We are awakening. Awakening. We are awakening. We are awakening. Awakening. It's a beautiful day, making music today. In a beautiful way, sunshine or rain. It's a beautiful life, friends by my side. Ease your stride, bring love to the. We cool, we fool, we rule, all the way out of here. So fly, finger paint the atmosphere. Mile high city and the lights flicker face low. You know I'm asking for your words when that chorus goes. Sometimes this life seems like a fist fight between your thoughts, expectation for the perfect life. Look at the awesome, so sick of it, awestruck. All the cast be saying it's one for all for love. So it's a beautiful day, making music today. In a beautiful way, sunshine or rain. It's a beautiful life, friends by my side. Ease your stride, bring love to the night, to the night. Kuna Matata, we're never alone. Friends are like sunshine from my garden of love. It's like water from my soul, fill me up. I'm alive when the table's full. Can't you see what I'm trying to say? Take a breath, let it take you away. My high city and the lights flicker face slug. You know I'm asking for your voice when that chorus comes. So it's a beautiful day, making music today. In a beautiful way, sunshine or rain. It's a beautiful life, friends by my side. Ease your stride, bring love to the night, to the night. It's a beautiful day, making music today. In a beautiful way, sunshine or rain. It's a beautiful life, friends by my side. Ease your stride, bring love to the night, to the night, to the night, to the night. In the morning when I wake up, wake up, wake up. It's a beautiful day, day. And I go outside and I look up, look up, look up. Let it take me away. In the morning when I wake up, wake up, wake up. It's a beautiful day, day. And I go outside and I look up, look up, look up. Let it take me away. Let it take me away. Let it take me away.
I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the child in you. I see the sweetness in you. I see the softness in you, and so it is. I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it deep in.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this special service where we're celebrating Independence Day and the ability to act. We'd like you to lift your voices with us as we sing a couple of our favorite songs celebrating this great country. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, white with snow. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. From the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His rays on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Good morning. Welcome to Columbine Spiritual Center, where centered in God, we celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. We're doing something a little different these days and having special music at the top of the hour. And so it's my great pleasure to introduce these amazing musicians up here. Larry Thompson on drums, Stacy Roginski and Cindy Smith on vocals. And I'll be sharing 2 original songs today. The first one's about individual freedom, which often, at least for me, comes through a big challenge. Even more when I have to play the ukulele. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. The universe is having its way with me, providing nips and tucks, I swear I never thought I'd need. My sign outside says closed for maintenance, but when we're through with Sometimes we miss life's lessons till they start to roar, or come delivered by a great big cosmic 2x4. I always pray that I could be exempt. Help me grow, but let's just keep things oh so pleasant, 'cause that'll work for me. Yeah, that'll work for me. Yeah, I'm falling down. I'm on the ground. When I rise up from these ashes once again, I'm gonna be so radiant. I'm gonna be so radiant. Never thought I'd find a silver lining in such pain. Never thought I'd lose so much, but somehow feel I gain. Never thought that gratitude would be all that remained. Yeah, I'm gonna be radiant. I start each day now in amazement, with a zest for life so strong I can almost taste it. I'm breaking through my heart's protection, dissolving barriers and blocks to my soul's connection. I'm on my way to free. Yeah, I'm on my way to free. Yeah, I'm falling down. Clap along with us. I'm on the ground. When I rise up from these ashes once again, I'm gonna be so radiant. I'm falling down. I'm on the ground. When I rise up from these ashes once again, I'm gonna be so radiant. I'm gonna be so radiant. 101%. Thank you.
Thank you. So we light our candle, our Christ candle. If I can light this. As we light the candle, let's be reminded of that radiance, that beautiful radiance that is within each of us that can never be extinguished, is always there. And I invite you into a time of prayer now. Gently closing your eyes wherever you are, taking that deep cleansing breath. Coming into that place of knowing that within we are divine and divinely radiant. And within us are all these God attributes, because we are created in the image and likeness of God. And so we have love and peace and freedom and joy and radiance, just longing to come forth, to express as us because it's what we are. And so, sweet Spirit, we are grateful for whatever amount of time we can stay with this knowing of our divine essence, of our true nature. Because it's so important for us to come from that place when we act. When we act in the world. That we act with kindness and love and equality and justice for everyone. And so we hold everyone who does not feel those divine attributes right now. Everyone who is challenged with the pandemic, challenged with racism, challenged with all the things that go on in our human lives. And we know there's a lot. Those that are challenged with depression and isolation and anxiety, and everyone who is on our prayer list, and everyone in our own individual prayer circles. We hold for you this vision of knowing this divine essence within, this radiance within, this joy and peace and love within. Longing for each of us to express it and experience it. We know this is true, and so it is. Amen.
I want to thank the great Maya Angelou for so many of her words, but in particular, the words that inspired this song. No one is free until we are alive free. No one is free until we are alive free. No one is free until we are alive free. No one is free until we are alive. I can't do nothing but the color of my skin, but I can choose to see we're all the same within. I can't do nothing about the place where I come from, but I can choose to see that you and I are one. 'Cause we were born to love. We were born to love. We were born to care. We were born to care. We were born to lift each other up, to dream, to dare. We were born to shine. We were born to shine. We were born to share. We were born to share. We were born to learn, to grow, wake up, become aware that no one is free until we are alive free. No one is free until we are alive free. No one is free until we are alive free. No one is free until we are alive free. Oh, until we are alive free. I can't do nothing about what other humans do, but I can choose to see the sacredness of you. I can't do nothing about the many times I failed, were born to love. We were born to love. We were born to strive. We were born to strive. We were born to plant the seeds that bring our souls alive. We were born to think. We were born to think. We were born to thrive. We were born to thrive. We were born to manifest God's will, not just survive. But no one is free until we are alive. Free. Go ahead and sing it with us. No one is free until we are alive. Free. No one is free until we are alive. Free. No one is free until we are alive. Free. Oh, until we are alive. Free. Do you believe that we can all be free? Some sweet day we're gonna all be free. I hope tomorrow will be a better you, a better me, till we all are free. Tomorrow will be a better you, a better me, till we all are free. I hope tomorrow will be a better you, a better me, till we all are free. Thank you so much.
Beautiful song, Janice. So great to have you ladies, and great to have a drummer today. There's a monastery a long time ago that was pretty vibrant and had a lot of people that would come to visit it. They would feel the peace there and the love there. And over the years, it started, the monks that were at the monastery started bickering with each other a little bit, getting competitive, comparing each other, and the novices started to not wanting to stay there, not wanting to get trained there. And the villagers stopped coming, and at one point they were down to about a handful of monks, elderly monks. And the head guy went to a friend of his, a rabbi who lived in the village, and said, you know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know why we are down to just a handful of us. Do you have any suggestions? What can we do? And the rabbi said, oh, you know, none of you would listen to me. I'm a rabbi. The monks wouldn't listen to me. And he said, but I do have an observation for you, if you're interested. And the monk said, yes, of course. What's your observation? He said, the Messiah is among you. And he's like, the monk's like, really? The Messiah is among us? The Messiah is one of us? And he said, yes, the Messiah is one of you. And I know this to be true. I know this to be fact. The Messiah is one of you. And the head monk, well, this is great. I'm going to go back and tell the monks and let them know. And so he went back and told them, and the other monks were like looking at each other like, well, it can't be him. And it certainly isn't him. I don't think it's me. I wonder who it is. And slowly they started changing their behavior because they weren't sure which one was the Messiah. And this wise rabbi was certain that one of them was the Messiah. And over time, people started coming back to the monastery because they felt the love and the peace, because the monks had, in the past, had forgotten that we all are one. They had forgotten that there was only one power and one presence. God is our first unity principle. They had forgotten these spiritual truths that we, each of us, are part of that, have a spark of the divinity within us, that we are that That's unity principle number 2, I am. They had forgotten that their thoughts, the thoughts that they think and the beliefs that they hold, whether conscious or unconscious, create the experience of their lives. Unity principle number 3, I think. They had also forgotten that when they pray and when they meditate, they align with that divinity within them, and they receive guidance on how to act. It's unity principle number 4, I pray. And so they started acting towards each other as if each of them were the Messiah. They started treating each other with kindness and with love. They acted, which is unity principle number 5, I act. It's not enough that we know these things, know these spiritual truths. We have to act on them. We have to bring them forth in our lives. And as these monks brought these spiritual truths, these spiritual principles forth in their lives, once again, the monastery was full. And it had people coming, men coming wanting to train there. And it had people from the village coming and wanting to spend time there because it was a place of peace and a place of love and a place where they felt whole. And so I bring you that story or share that story with you today because we're talking about our 5 principles. This is the last week of our 5-week series on the 5 principles. And this is Unity's main teaching, the 5 principles by Unity minister Ellen Davenport. That we have these spiritual truths. The first 4 of them are mostly done in consciousness. We have to become aware. We have to take them in and work with them and feel their truth in our own minds and align our beliefs with those truths. And then when we take those in and get guidance, we can discern, is this guidance? Is this the guidance coming from my divine essence, from my divine self? And then act. And then act. Acts of service. That's living the truth when we act out that guidance. Ellen says on pages 111 and 112, living the truth is more about being than doing. When we are living the truth, any action we take will be from a consciousness of spirit and oneness with ego in service to soul. The 5 principles provide steps to lead us from ego to soul, from living unconsciously to living in awareness of truth. We need to stay focused on the truth as we know it. And when we don't, we're going to feel some friction. In our humanness, it's natural anyway to feel some friction. A couple weeks ago, I got a new pair of running shoes, and as I often do, I put them on and run around the house, and I'm making sure they're comfortable before I head outside. And these were really comfortable, but I never looked at the bottom of the shoes before I went outside. And my running is pavement and trails. And so when you get on the trails, and there's tiny little pebbles that get stuck in those treads, when you get back on the pavement, you hear this click, 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 and you hear this friction, and I can feel it when I'm running. And so what do we do sometimes when we're in friction? We kind of dig in. We kind of push it down, or I'm trying to scrape my feet on the pavement to try to get the stones out of there, and it doesn't work that way. I have to actually do something. So I had to go home and take a fork and get those pebbles out of my shoes. But that's what we do in our humanness, because none of us are perfect in our humanness. None of us are. Awareness of the truth is the highest, deepest version we can comprehend. We're not perfect because we have human beliefs and human thoughts that get in the way of that divine essence, of that just coming through, unfiltered. Our forefathers were not perfect either. And this great celebration this year or this weekend of independence, we can look at our forefathers as men who were brave and courageous, who had friction in their lives, who had oppression in their lives, and they decided to act and do something about it. And we are grateful that they did. And the Declaration of Independence, written by Thomas Jefferson, says this: "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Now, these ideas of liberty, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, equality, freedom, justice, these are divine ideas. These ideas come from spirit. And even though our forefathers weren't perfect in that, because when they wrote that all men are created equal, they didn't mean women. They didn't mean slaves. They didn't mean Native Americans. They meant the men who looked like them. They weren't perfect, but the ideas underneath that, the ideas in the Declaration of Independence are still true today. In fact, we've been evolving with these ideas. And I think we're in a point now in our country, on our planet, where we are becoming more aware of this, becoming more aware of the need for equality and freedom and justice for everyone in life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. These divine ideas within the Declaration are relevant today. They've evolved. On Friday, Kevin and I, my husband and I, watched Hamilton on the Disney Plus channel. And I love how he uses the story of Hamilton, but uses a diverse cast. He said in an interview, "This is how America looks now." It doesn't take away from the history of it, but it brings it a more richness to it. But I especially love when the three Schuyler sisters were singing and they talked about all men are created equal, and in sequel 2, that will include women. We're seeing this movement now towards greater inclusion of all people, especially the marginalized. We're evolving as a nation, we're evolving as a planet where we honor all life, and we're taking action. Now, I don't condone violent action, but we're taking action that doesn't harm, action that is peaceful, action to bring these divine ideas to everyone, to allow everyone to express from that place. And it's interesting how Ellen talks about in the book that the service does not need to be out in the world. Some of us may need to work on our own internal belief system. Some of us may need to become more aware of how racism is in our lives or in our consciousness and how we respond to it. Some of us may need to spend more time in meditation and align with those divine ideas in a more useful way, in a more loving way, in a more kind way. Some of us may need to educate ourselves more about racism and where we are holding racial thoughts and what we can do to stand with our brothers and sisters of color. I watched a video this past week that Linda Hirsch, our board secretary, sent. It's by Cornel West, who's a Black man who works at the Harvard Divinity School as a professor of philosophy, and he's written 20 books, and his talk is called What It Means to Be Human. And he says that to be human, we have to learn to die. Remember, Paul says in the scriptures, I die daily. We have to learn to die to those things that are no longer serving us so that life can be reborn in better ways, in more loving ways. What thoughts or beliefs are you holding that need to die in you to allow freedom and equality to everyone? Where do we hold that an American life is more valuable than a life in other parts of the country, like Venezuela or Uganda or Ethiopia? Many of us hold that our lives are more valuable. Is it true? What action can we take to rid ourselves, to let those things die so that we can become more open, more expansive, and see through a spiritual lens those spiritual truths of the 5 principles, that we are one, that we all are made equal. Becoming more aware of our beliefs is an action we can take. Cornell went on to say, we don't want to be a spectator in our lives. We didn't come here to be spectators. We came here to be participants. And participants practice. And participants do and be in bigger ways, in greater ways, in more expansive ways. We don't want to just let life happen to us. It's so easy to sit back, especially when we're challenged, and just say other people can take care of that. It's ours to do. What is ours to do? It'll be different for each one of us. Ellen says this, there are no formulas for using principle. Not only is every individual different, but each came to earth with a different purpose and path. That's why our ability to create our own experience is so useful. We can attract the unique experiences that are perfect for each of us and take action as guided. This isn't easy, and it's certainly not comfortable. It can be very uncomfortable. Often divine guidance is uncomfortable because we're being pushed beyond our comfort zone. I know for me, sometimes when I get some divine guidance that is uncomfortable, I want to ignore it. I want to just let it go, especially during this distressing time, these hearing the news, or reading news articles. It can really sap your joy. I was reminded this week that my joy, where is my joy? It's not out there. It's not in any outer circumstance, but true joy is within. True joy is an attribute of spirit. And so it's ours to allow, to express, or not. But we need to turn within. It's not easy when we're all caught up in the negative news stories. But I've been doing this week is whenever I'm feeling myself getting anxious or angry or not feeling my joy, I'm telling myself, go to source. Go to source. That source is within us. That source is there. And that's the only place we're going to find lasting peace, lasting joy, is within us. And that's an action that we can take. Stop looking outside of ourselves to fill these needs and look within. It's all there. The joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I was reminded of that scripture this week as well. It just keeps playing in my head. And what is the Lord but our own inner divine essence, our I am, that deepest, highest, best part of ourselves. That's where we find joy, and that's where we find strength. I've been having a hard time, too, with people who aren't wearing masks in my judgment of them, that they don't care about my health or my safety. I care about yours. I'm wearing a mask when I'm out in public. But I've recently tried to switch it to blessing. Remember our blessings practice that we had this past fall with the gentle art of blessing? So I've been trying to switch it over to blessings. Yesterday, I was on a run. And I've shared with you before that sometimes when I'm running, especially on the trail part, I hear footsteps behind me, and I often turn around and there's nobody there. It's like, oh, it's Jesus. Jesus is running with me again. Jesus is there. So yesterday I'm running and I hear footsteps and I'm thinking, oh, Jesus is there again. And I turn, and right over my left shoulder, there's a man running by me. He's got a mask on. He's a black man. And I screamed because I was startled to see anybody there. It wasn't because he was black, but sadly, he put up both hands and said, it's okay, it's okay. And we went our separate ways right after that. And I silently blessed him. I wish I would have blessed him out loud. I wish I would have let him know that I was not a threat to him. That it wasn't the color of his skin that startled me. It was just having a person right there. There's so many things we can do when we become aware. I'll never understand what it is to be black. But the fifth principle can propel me forward to try to understand, to stand with them, to see through a spiritual lens, have a clearer vision of that oneness that we all are. I can't imagine what filters people of color must have when it comes to white people. We all have filters, and everything goes through those filters. Ellen says this in the 5 principles: we see the world through our filters, our own filters. Filters is another word for consciousness. Nothing enters or leaves our experience without being sifted through the filters of our beliefs, assumptions, and histories. What if we could remove them on occasion, rise above them? Jesus suggested that we be in the world, not of it. What if we could remove them? What if we could see the Messiah in everyone? No matter whether we agree with them, no matter whether we resonate with them, no matter if we look like them. Remember our Love Your Neighbor poster? Love everyone, no exceptions. What if we could do that and rise above it? We are in the world, but we don't want to be of the world, of the way the world thinks. Don't conform to that way, but allow yourself to bring forth your best. That's what we're here to do. That's a challenge we all have. We want to get out of the heat. Last weekend, Kevin and I were in Grand Lake in the mountains. You want to get out of the heat and get to where it's cooler. Jesus often went up to the mountains to get away, to be alone, to pray, to meditate. And so when we're in the heat, we need to rise above it. Go where it's cooler. Go where there's clearer vision. Get guidance by listening, being aware. I've been watching some videos by Emmanuel Acho. He's doing a series on uncomfortable conversations with the black man. These are really well done, and they're short. They're only about 10 minutes long. There's 4 of them right now. And he says, let your guard down and listen. Not only do we as white people need to listen to people of color, but he's also listening to us in these interviews. We need to come to a place of understanding, meeting people on that bridge of understanding. It can make such a huge difference just to understand. I read an inspiring story this week. It was about Sean Drumgold. He's 29 years old. He's a black man. He lives in Nashville, Tennessee. My daughter lives there in Nashville, and he lives in the 12th South area neighborhood. And my daughter Tricia and I have been there a few times for dinner. It's a really nice neighborhood, a lot of cool restaurants, really up-and-coming kind of place. He's lived there with his family since 1966, when his grandmother bought a house there. At that time, it was a black neighborhood. And they've lived there a long time, but slowly over the years, there's been lots of gentrification, lots of black families moving out, nice restaurants moving in, nice houses being built. And last week, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, he wanted to go for a walk, and he got as far as his front porch and sat down and thought, if I go for a walk in this neighborhood with everything that's going on right now, I might not come back alive. So he sat on his front porch, and he wrote on Facebook what he was thinking and what he was feeling. And it got the attention of some of his neighbors, people that lived in the area who didn't know that he couldn't even go for a walk. And so the next time he wanted to go for a walk, he had about 80 neighbors go with him, stand with him, walk with him. It's been growing. I think they're up to about 300 people going on a walk together. It's called Walk with Sean, so that Sean can walk and feel safe in his neighborhood. They've even gone beyond, and they're traveling to other cities, doing a Walk with Sean in other cities, so that our black brothers and sisters can know that we stand with them, that they're safe with us. What can we do? What can we do in our neighborhoods? What can we do in our communities? How can we be during these challenging times? Worldwide headquarters. Unity World Headquarters. I knew I'd get it. Unity World Headquarters CEO Jim Blake recently posted this. Rachel found this video for me, and I think it's really important for the unity message. You want to play that video? Uh-oh, no sound. I don't know if I'm on, but we'll start it over so we can all hear it. Whoops. Bear with us. Well, maybe we'll just post it. We can just post it. Am I still on? Can people still hear me? Yes, okay. Apologize for those technical difficulties. Things happen. So he talks about standing with our brothers and sisters of color. Stand with those who have been marginalized. Stand with them figuratively and literally to empower. Not to see them as victims, but to empower them, to live as our forefathers wrote, and see that we all were created equal, that we all are deserving of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Jim Blake says in the video, "We see you, we hear you, we stand with you." So we can act. We can do what we are guided to do to bring these divine ideas to everyone. Because each of us, as our spiritual truths say, our spiritual principles say, are one, are divine, are living a human life and challenged with all of our own filters. But we can move past that. So that is our call, and that is our invitation to act. I want to move us now into a time of meditation, and I'm going to use Ellen's meditation at the end of this chapter on the 5th principle. So I invite you to just get comfortable. Gently close your eyes and reflect. What is mine to do? How am I to serve? I have come to this human experience not just for myself, but for others. And I stand ready to share God's love with them. That love expresses through me and as me. I make myself ready. I ask for my perfect place of service. I live the truth, knowing that God is all, that I am God, that we are co-creators, and that I am never separate from divine radiance. I let my light shine to illuminate those in darkness. I let my heart expand for those who need love. I give as it has been given to me, and I am grateful for us all. I invite you to hold those thoughts in a moment of silence. Thanks. This is a time in our service where we want to acknowledge our gratitude for all the support we've been getting, for the wonderful notes of support, emails of support, and financial support. And we are so grateful for every donation that comes in here. We are self-sufficient, self-sustaining. We are, is that the right word? Anyway, we are so grateful for all that you all give. And so we want to open that flow now and invite you to go to our website, go to Tithely, go to our text to give, any number of ways that you can help us do what we're doing here, is transforming personal transformation, or inspiring personal transformation. So let's say our offertory blessing together. I invite you to say it with us at home. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. Amen. Amen. And so I think we have just maybe one announcement. Well, here, go to our website. Hey, if you're new to us and you'd like to be on our email list, go to our website, our homepage, and there's a link you can click to sign up to be on our email list. We send out an update every Thursday, and then we send an e-bulletin out on Sunday mornings to anyone that's on our email list. So if you'd like to be on it, please go ahead and click on that and fill that out. What's next, Doug? Okay, Rachel is still got the bookstore open from 12 to 3, and just let her know that you're coming. We are doing social distancing, physical distancing, and allowing just one person at a time.
And that's
We still
just
have
Wednesdays, right?
lots of stuff. That's on Wednesdays, yes, Wednesdays. We are having our next Colorado Feeding Kids July 18th. I can't read that. I think it's the 18th. It's a Saturday. It's a lot of fun to do this. This is a great cause. These meal kits we assemble. We put together these boxes that you see on your screen, and we put them together, and they go to Colorado kids who are families in Colorado who are hungry. And it's such a great organization, and we are happy to be able to help them. We put together 1,000 kits a month. Ouch. So if you would like to help, there's a sign-up sheet. There's just go to that link in the update, and you can sign up to help us. If you'd like to help us the Wednesday and Thursday before, we need a few people for that as well. So just contact Rachel for those. But it's a great organization, and we are grateful to be able to have this service that we can do and still be safe. We do them outside, and everybody wears a mask, as you can see. I think that's it for our announcements. Join us for Fellowship, 12:15. We'd love to see your smiling face on that little tiny box, but we'd love to see you. So that's it. Let's sing our peace song.
light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
Bye, everybody. Love you.
Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Yeah. Let's dance it out together. Where the Spirit of